After all the hardships our heroes have been through over the last couple of sessions, I think we're more than ready for a chill one. Hi, I'm Skull, and welcome to the ninth campaign diary for our playthrough of the Abomination Vaults. We had some super useful feedback and rules clarifications on the last video, so before we began, I brought our players up to speed on the correct rulings that we were missing. We decided as a group to keep using hero points the way we've been using them so far. Pulling yourself back to your feet in a dire moment feels much more heroic than just not dying. And with how dangerous the Abomination Vaults seems to be, I doubt it will save them much longer. It'll just turn a nasty encounter from an 8 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10 on the deadly scale. When we left off, our heroes had just slain the giant scorpion and stabilized the dying Milo. While Ornifex set to work patching up Milo, the rest of the group began looking over the scorpion kennel, both for further threats as well as anything of note. They found the remains of many small animals and an unfortunate mitflit or two, but nothing that could harm them. Once Milo was back on his feet, he took a moment to voice his frustrations at how this adventure had been going so far.
Oh,
Damn. Well, you good?
yeah. But our friendly feathered healer got me back up pretty good. You know, I'm starting to get used to this, I think.
You know what? I think you're as well. You have a pretty
Um,
good adventuring scar after all this, though, hey? I'll
I feel
punch
like
you
my
on the
entire
other
body is
shoulder.
gonna be one scar. Ow! That's also sore.
Ah, shit, my bad. Where isn't sore?
Nowhere.
What about your forehead? And we like tap your forehead.
That's alright.
All right. Well, good job. Do
Thanks.
do you think you're okay to keep going? I know we had big plans to go back and fight, but
Big plans. I'm having a hard time remembering anything. But I think I'm good to go.
I'm gonna look him over. Is he good to go? Does he look good to go?
He looks good enough as long as we take care of him. But it should be fine for some adventuring. We just need to be careful.
I mean, I think we're pretty good looking after him as long as you look after yourself. I'm gonna do like a little look, like a parent look. No charging in front, right?
I wasn't even doing that this time. I was being tactical, but it refused to cooperate.
Well,
But yeah, I'm fine.
okay.
I can go on as long as I'm not a mummy. That's when we need to head back, I think.
Milo agreed to keep going for today, so the party gathered in the kennel. The group took particular notice of the mossy skull iconography, but no one could place its origin. All they knew is that it seemed intentional and nefarious in its design. While trying to recall the names of some of the previously mentioned gods, the players voiced some confusion as to how to best track their group notes. I decided to set up their own notes section in the Foundry Journal, so now they can all type notes and share information while we play. Once I wrangled everybody back into the game, the group began discussing the upcoming fight with the Corpselights. As far as they know, this is the last room that needs clearing before the Gauntlet ruins are safe and free of danger.
What do you remember about the creatures that were in that chapel?
Oh, I remember everything about them. I remember
That's
they're
what's
called
left.
Corpselights, I think.
Learned.
Skeleton versions of them are weak to bashing, and zombie versions are weak to slashing. And you need to kill the body and then kill the wisp.
So what's our strategy? Go in, like guns blazing, well, fist blazing.
I don't know. Do you really? I mean, they seem content in there.
But are you content in leaving them there after what they did last time? We found some
Yeah.
really cool
It's
treasure in there.
specifically
Maybe get
because of
more.
what they did last time that I'm content with leaving them where they are.
In a rather out of character outburst for the normally positive and altruistic Milo, he spoke about how he was unconcerned with leaving the Corpselights to their own business and that he didn't want to face them again.
That's not what a true adventurer would do, though.
To be fair, they didn't really seem to want to leave the chapel, so I can't see them being an issue
Yeah,
in
and
that
to be
sense.
fair, aren't we the invaders here?
I mean, we did
We
rob
the
them
bad
last time.
guys.
Yeah, they didn't attack us until we robbed them.
But the altar was weird, remember, as well.
Yeah, I did sing. I kind of want to hear that tune again.
Also, what's stopping somebody else from Atari coming up here and falling victim to them?
I don't know. Probably the fact that most people consider this a dangerous place and wouldn't go here.
Yeah, but some moron from out of town will find this and go, ooh, loot, and we pretty much cleared the way for them.
Oh, you're gonna really guilt trip me into going through with this?
Not guilt tripping you, just teaching you the wills of an adventurer.
Oh, fine. But if I die, you're going to have to tell my dad.
Pretty sure I can hide long enough. Maybe read
For
on
him
move
to
on till he finds
forget?
me.
Alright, yeah, I mean, viable strategy.
But this is why
Sure.
I asked. I said, are you ready to carry on? You said yes. It's either all or nothing.
Yeah, alright, fine.
Are you sure
I'm
you're ready
good.
to carry on? You still look a bit beat up.
Yeah, I feel beat up ever since I met you guys.
Even as Milo agreed to push forward, Sesto and Ornifex voiced their concerns about going in without everyone being in tip-top condition. What began as a plan to just take an hour in their makeshift camp developed into a plan to step away for a full week while some party members retrained, May healed herself from her disease, and the group fully prepares to face the dungeon.
Or I picked up some skills I thought would be beneficial to working in the market trade, and I feel I could probably spend some time perhaps retraining. If anyone else would ever had any thoughts on that, they would help benefit themselves from it.
Oh, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm still not feeling 100%. I wouldn't say no to having a week to rest, if it's something you really want to do, but I feel like we've only just been here for a day and we've only done one thing. Surely we'd be the laughing stock of the town if we went back now.
I'm sure most of the town aren't even aware of what we're doing.
I'd prefer to
ones
be a
that-
laughing stock than in as many pieces we might have been in had we not left earlier. That giant worm.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. It was bad. Like, personally, I'm not opposed to it. If you need a week to sort some of your affairs and, I don't know, punch some punching bags, kick some kicking bags. Are kicking bags a thing? Trees? I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to resting up, getting rid of this cough. It seems to be following me around.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind some time to just relax.
The problem with this plan is that Milo only has 4 days left of the week that his father gave him before he's permanently disowned. Reminding Milo of this did make him second guess himself, but more so because of the uncomfortableness of the situation rather than his concern for his family situation.
I
Maybe
do remember you
ours-
have that time limit with your father, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Or is that something you could also benefit from having time to sort out in town than spending all the days up here?
You make a good point, but at the same time, now that you mention it, I do feel kind of comfortable up here.
Now, is that comfortable because you're just away from the place and not thinking about what you have to sort out?
Yes,
So what would the wisest thing be to do?
who knows? I'm not a sage. I just know what my heart tells me, and what my book tells me. And neither of them says that I should go back.
Well, gotta go back eventually, unless you're gonna move in here.
Who knows? You know, once we're done here, this place could use a new overlord.
Where's Rock? I feel Rock needs to have some sort of discussion with Milo on this one.
Kid, we were woefully unprepared.
Yes.
May and I almost died. You have almost died how many times now?
I've lost track.
Maybe walking away for a bit will do us some good.
Maybe.
Look, I
Well, I
thought
mean, if you guys want to go back for a while, I'm not going to stop you, and I won't stay here on my own. I'm not that stupid. I'll follow your lead.
With that decided, our heroes pulled back to Atari for a week. They split off to perform various tasks. May's main priority was curing her flypox disease. The Dawnflower Library offers services that could help, so May resolved herself to head there. She poked her head into Rin's to let her know what was going on, but Rin stopped her. When you go to tell Rin where you're going, she gives you like a pitiful smile and pats a stool next to her.
What's up? I'm not really feeling great. I'd kind of like to go and lie down.
Oh, that's okay. I'm surprised you didn't come to me earlier. And she casts Remove Disease.
No! Rin!
Oh,
Rin!
You could have told me you were ill instead of traipsing around the ruin.
To be honest, I didn't know I was this ill. It got pretty bad when we were up there, and it slowly got worse. I asked on effects to help me, but I don't think I was a very good patient, and I think I made it worse.
With the most pressing matter resolved, May helped out in Rin's shop for the remaining 6 days and earned 30 silver pieces while she waited for her allies to be ready. Sesto wanted to retrain from the quick identification feat into the intimidating glare feat. Seeing as Milo has been relatively successful in identifying magic items, and Sesto has been the one doing most of the demoralizing, the switch made sense. His backstory had him working in the market as muscle until recently, so he went to ask Keelano to help him learn this skill. You alright, Sesto? Not seen you in the market for a while.
I've been extending my reach of the town, throwing my hand at a little bit of adventuring nowadays.
Oh, well, very noble.
Based on that, I was hoping you could my intimidation tactics I've really been just using Tiny as a sort of deterrent, as you know. I was hoping I could probably spend the week with you while I'm here. I've seen you sort of give off a good presence to help deter thievery folk around here. Hoping I could pick something up from you.
You want to learn from the best, do you? I'm not too fond of your wolf, so if you keep him away, I'd be willing to teach you a thing or two.
That was more the reason for when I don't have my wolf. You know, I'm not really the most intimidating fellow.
We'll see what we can do then. Rock was eager to get rid of the underhanded assault feat,
Get rid of this underhanded bullshit.
so he set out in search of the Thieves Guild. Luckily, our heroes had found the signs of the Osprey Club in the old boathouse, so they had a good idea of who they were looking for. A successful society check confirmed that Yin Yasmira was the person they were looking for. Rock brought Milo along to keep him out of Gregory's path, and they headed to the Crook's Nook. They found Yin Yasmira tending the bar, although they noticed she didn't look her usual confident self. Hey, everything's fine. Can I get you anything?
I was hoping you could help me maybe expand my horizons. I'm not from around here. The way I used to do things doesn't seem to work too well out this way. So maybe you'd be able to point me in the direction of somebody who can make me a little bit more nimbler.
She tilts her head and gives you a curious glance. Leans onto the bar, resting on her elbows. You know, there's a rumor going around that you used to be a lawman.
Yeah, that'd be true.
Not usually the type that we associate with here.
I can tell. I mean, I think I put Jimbo over there away once or twice.
Make a request. She kind of gives you a dead stare for a couple of seconds. Let's have a quick chat upstairs. Normally, the Thieves Guild wouldn't want anything to do with an ex-lawman like Rock. However, there's a side quest in the adventure that revolves around finding 4 missing Osprey Club members, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity to kick that off. It also seemed important to John that he does get to retrain this unwanted feat, so I wanted to make sure he got that chance. Once they were comfortable in the Atticant clubhouse, Yin Yasmira put forward her offer. So, usually, we wouldn't quite be quite so open about what's going on, but if you're looking for something, then I'm also looking for something, and maybe we can make some kind of agreement.
I mean, it's not the first time I've had to do a favor for a favor.
Good. Glad to hear it. Look, it's going around town. It's a bit of a rumor that you and your friends are trying to solve whatever that light problem was with the zombies. So I know that you're up at the Gauntlet. We a few weeks ago did send somebody.
At this point, I'll snap my finger and go like, "Aha! You want us to investigate when you're missing members?"
She gives you the dirtiest look.
I grabbed Mal over the back of the neck. Let her finish.
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. We found that thing, right? Makes sense now, looking around.
We did, but there are ways of doing things, so...
Oh,
just let her
right.
finish.
We're negotiating. Sorry.
It is like perk up. Have you found anything up there that could be associated with us?
Few
No.
totems.
Oh, okay.
Totems. Okay, well, I guess maybe you're a little bit aware then. But I did send 4 of my men up there a couple of weeks back, and they haven't returned yet. So if you can promise to bring them back alive, if they're still alive themselves, or, bring back their something to remember them by, then not only will I teach you what you want to know, but I'll also give you a small monetary reward. Rock made the counter offer of forgetting the money and instead having the Thieves Guild keep Milo away from his dad for the duration of the stay. Yini Asmira was apprehensive to get involved with anything related to a garrison member's family, but her desires to see her men return to safety proved enough to sway her. You want me to do something for the son of one of the garrison?
Well, he's trying to spread his wings. His old man, very much against it. I need a way to keep him away from his old man. Kind of taking a shine to the kid.
But that's risky. I feel like a lot of the town knows what we do here, but we specifically don't target people who live here. Keeps us safe.
Oh, I'm not saying smuggle him out of the city. I'm just saying place to keep low. Otherwise, he's gonna have to stay with me, and that could bring the guards sniffing around.
Maybe like a safe house?
Yes, make a safe house.
It is important that I get my men back, so fine. We'll look after the kid. Rock was successfully retrained, losing the underhanded assault feat and gaining the nimble dodge feat. Milo's treatment came in the form of a couple of Osprey members that acted as runners for him, constantly keeping him away from any garrison member and meaning he automatically got to avoid Gregory for the remainder of his stay in Atari. Milo then spent the rest of his time earning income by tutoring the Menhammer's children. This earned him 49 silver pieces. Ornifex wanted to make use of her Meditate Upon Faith downtime action. For those of you that missed it, we have a homebrew downtime activity called Meditate Upon Faith. This lets a character with access to spells through religion spend time trying to understand their god's will. On a success, they get access to a resource called Faith that they can spend on accessing uncommon or rare spells as per a flowchart. A successful roll let Ornifex gain 7 Faith. Not yet enough to gain a new spell, but definitely a good start. Wrapping up their time in Atari, the group sold some treasure, bought a whole bunch of healing potions, and then it was time to go. Our heroes took the trip back to the Gornite Ruins, ready to face the Corpselights for round 2. They hauled the Scorpion's body aside to give them more space, and then, with the door still closed, we rolled initiative. It's worth mentioning that I gave the appropriate items to each Corpselight. That means one of them has the Channel Protection Amulet, which may become useful, and the zombified one has all the dead rogues items. There was an energy in the air as the battle kicked off. The party were coming into this armed with more knowledge than before and a real strategy in mind. Rock kicked the doors open, revealing 3 Corpselights huddled in a group away from the windows. Immediately their attention turned on him. Instead of rushing forwards alone, he stayed in formation and ready to strike against the first undead to enter his reach. The zombie rushed forward mindlessly. Rock lashed out and stabbed into the undead, but that didn't stop it from clawing back at him. Ornifex blasted the zombified rogue with a divine lance, and then cast guidance on Milo in preparation for his turn. One of the skeletal Corpselights filled the space beside its ally, completing the melee skirmish in the doorway. Rock avoided the incoming bite and claw. The group planned to use this doorway as a choke point, keeping the bulk of the fighting as a 2v2, while the party members with ranged options supported from behind. This plan was now in effect and proving effective, even if it did give the Corpselights minor cover against most of the ranged attacks. Milo did his usual thaumaturge setup and then pelted the skeletal undead with bludgeoning damage, making use of the learnt weaknesses. Fearing the death light that he had researched, he backed up and put himself out of its range. All according to our hero's plan, the final Corpselight approached, but as the doorway was blocked, and its only ranged option took 3 actions, it had nothing to do but wait behind its fellow undead. Cessa and Tiny also backed out of the range of any potential deathlight and blasted the zombie with a puff of flame. May, up on the front lines, laid into the skeleton with a critical hit. She had access to the critical specialization for weapons in the Brawler group, meaning the undead was also slowed. She then protected Rock with a forbidding ward focused on the skeleton before him. After this round, the Corpselights were looking very wounded. The regular use of their weakness, the choke point essentially removing an enemy from the fight, and the critical hit had done great work in overwhelming the Corpselights. However, The undead were now in position to use their deathlight. Rock swung for the zombie, but all his strikes missed their mark. In retaliation, the zombified Corpselight stretched its mouth and eyes wide and blasted May and Ornifex with deathlight. May was lightly damaged by the void energy, while Ornifex was impacted harder and fear took hold. Hitting at least one creature allowed the Corpselight to heal a small amount of HP back. Ornifex didn't let her fear limit her, and she blasted the entire room with a 3-action heal. This both healed the party and damaged the undead, except for the one wearing the amulet, hinting at what magical item it might be.
Like, raise my hands, and in my hands, tiny stars would form and like spread out and just sparkle a little bit over everything.
Aw, cute.
Give a little bit
Like
of
it.
light, you know?
The damage from the heal spell was enough to destroy one of the skeletal Corpselights, causing the wisp to emerge and flee towards the main hall. These wisps need to find a host body urgently or they wither and die. As it happens, this was the slowed Corpselight, meaning it wasn't able to get very far and definitely out of range of any bodies. Milo lashed out at the wisp, destroying it for good. The remaining skeleton beamed forth its deadlight, this time hitting Rock, May, and Ornifex. This time, Ornifex fully resisted the effects of the light, but May and Rock were singed by the void energy. Sesto launched a thunder strike at the Corpselight that had just beamed, destroying the limited healing it had just received. Tiny readied an attack in case a wisp darted past him. May entered her stoked flame stance and slid into the room in order to give Rock flanking on the zombie. She pummeled the skeleton Corpselight, leaving it extremely damaged. Rock cut the zombified Corpselight down, unleashing the wisp into the room. The wisp darted past the party, avoiding the jaws of Tiny and disappearing into the central hall, but perished as it was unable to find an appropriate corpse. Ornifex blasted the last remaining Corpselights with needle darts, destroying the host corpse and forcing the wisp into the open. Before it could flee, Milo rushed forward and destroyed the final wisp, leaving this nefarious shrine empty of undead. Compared to the first battle against these Corpselights, this could almost have been a totally different group. They engaged at the same level, with the same resources. All that changed was their knowledge and their attitude towards the encounter. Yet it went infinitely better. They took a few hits here and there, but they stuck to their plan, accounted for upcoming attacks, and took care of the undead that sent them running quite handily. I'm very proud of our heroes.
Oh, that was amazing, guys.
I have to say, that went a lot better than last time. No one's dead. Ornifex, are you alright?
Yeah, good. I'm surprised we struggled so much with them the first time.
No, now look at us. Not even a feather ruffled. Feel like we've learned a lot.
Yeah. Our teamwork has improved and our spirits are great. You know, the morale of the team.
No, don't say spirits. Not quite ready for that.
Oh, yeah.
But more importantly, I'm curious what this one has on him.
With the threat vanquished, our heroes set to work looting the bodies and giving the shrine a proper look over. They identified the amulet correctly as a channel protection amulet, but failed to figure out the nature of the potion. Our heroes recognized the zombified corpse as an Osprey Club member and discussed how best to prove they'd found him.
Yeah, I think the zombie was one of the ones we were looking for. They had an osprey tattoo.
Well, we do need proof.
Right. I don't think like the tattoo, like carving it out of them would be something they'd react well to.
No. Take a finger.
How about we just look? I'm just gonna see if they have any like trinkets or something on them that we could use.
In order to support their plan, I decided that the silver ring on his body was a wedding ring and had initials carved into the band. They agreed that this would be the best option for providing evidence. Although, this did mean they needed to convince the shiny living Tengu to give it up.
Maybe we're gonna need that ring when we get back to town.
Ring? I don't have a ring.
Yeah, I don't even know who got the ring.
It was either you or Ornifex.
I do have a ring, yes.
Ornifex in the corner like, my precious.
Yeah, Artifacts is a real loot goblin.
Onyx is just a magpie. She just likes sparkly things.
Just put them in your roost.
Oh,
Do you want to have a look at the ring? Why are you asking for it?
Well, I kind of made a deal to find some people. This guy is one of those people, so we need to bring proof.
Oh, yes, of course. Then Better take that ring.
They could tell that this room definitely had some religious implications, but couldn't identify which faith was being honoured. They took particular note of the orange four-pointed star iconography and tried to figure out its meaning.
Something very strange about this chapel. I don't think I've heard anyone mentioning it.
True, they just said this is a lighthouse, right?
Well, it's a keep. And most keeps have a chapel in them. So it's not strange as such. But this is a very peculiar depiction. It is quite reminiscent of what we've already encountered, right? Like the spirits rising from the ground towards a star. We know the gauntlet projected light towards a grave site and makes the spirit rise. Perhaps this depicts how the gauntlet was created in the first place. But then it's strange that the star is orange. So there might be something we're missing.
Maybe whatever is happening is not complete yet, and the color will change.
It might, that's true. It might turn orange when it's reaching its full potential or something like that. Maybe this is just a dim light when it's weak. Either way, I think we should keep this in mind, at least the depiction of the four-pointed star. It might be good to remember.
Maybe we can ask someone in town if they have ever heard about this.
With nothing else to learn here, our heroes at long last finally committed to giving this second floor a proper look over. They elected not to go down via the island entrance. I wonder why. So they headed back to the original entrance they found.
Yeah, I kind of need to stay here until, I feel ready to prove myself strong enough to, I don't know. It's stupid, I guess, but I feel like we should keep at it.
You're
I
probably
can't
right.
shake this sense of urgency. There's just this feeling I have that this is... We shouldn't rush or anything like that, obviously. This is dangerous stuff, but I don't think we should dilly-dally too long. We should make progress.
Well then. Don't think we get more clues from here. Maybe we should press on then.
Yeah, I think so. Onwards and downwards.
While they had briefly wandered the processional on their first visit here, this time they decided to go into the meeting room and go south. They didn't get very far though, as they quickly emerged into the servants' room and caught the attention of the 5 Morlock scavengers. We rolled initiative and entered the session there. I don't think the Morlocks will cause them too much trouble. The initiative order might prove a tad problematic for the first round, as the first of our heroes to act are going into a completely dark room without a light source. I also think the combination of swarming stance and scuttling attack will cause our heroes more trouble than they would first expect. If things allow, I'd like to block up the thin entrance with swarming stance Morlocks, and have the others scuttle attack. This will hopefully force the players to think strategically as to how to overcome the blockade. Should this not work out, I'll rely on scuttling attack to force our heroes to use their actions to chase after their nimble creatures. I'm really happy with how this session went. It was a bit of a slow start after they retreated to town for a week, but now that our heroes seemingly have fully committed to spending a good chunk of time in the dungeon, hopefully that means we'll see some great progress on the servants' quarters and they can start piecing together the mysteries of the Gauntlet. With what will hopefully be a longer time away from Atari, I have been working on some updates to the town people for when they return. One of these will involve Sesto's family and will kick off his backstory quest, while others will be designed to put further pressure on Milo to stop running from his family problems. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's campaign diary. As always, your support is greatly appreciated, and any likes, comments, or subscriptions go a really long way to helping a small channel like mine grow. Have a great day, and I'll see you for session 10 next time.